Good evening. Thank you for letting us come and use our First Amendment rights to discuss what has been going on in Glendale Unified School District board meetings and our schools recently. Let's be clear, I'm not here to talk about the culture wars that are happening behind us, because they're not here for the truth. They're here for what they choose to believe is the truth and what message will get them the most power. These are strangers to our city. These are not our families. These are not our kids. These are not the people I've served with on PTAs. These are not people that I have served with on foundations. These are not people that I have volunteered in classrooms with. These are not people whose children I have driven to God knows how many field trips, events, or otherwise fed them Rice Krispie treats. These are not the people I see in our schools every day. The people I see in our schools every day are teachers who work for our kids, who keep them safe, who keep them loved, and who keep them knowing that who they are is enough, that they don't have to be someone else or conform to somebody else's religious or cultural beliefs to be good enough to be a Glendale Unified School District child. I see administrators who go out of their way, who send emails at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, responding to the reasonable requests of parents to know what's happening in their schools. I have had those experiences, and I have received the kind of responses I expect from my school board, from my administrators, from my teachers, and from my fellow parents. And when I haven't, that has been quickly remedied. So I have no problem believing that the truth of what's been happening in Glendale is the truth of what's been happening in Glendale, not the truth that's being made up by those who would like to drive an agenda that has nothing to do with their children, because a good many of them don't have children in this school district. And we saw that earlier tonight when a good chunk of us were applauding for the kids who won the Math Academy, when we saw the kids getting applauded who were getting sports awards, when we applauded the person who helps keep our kids' schools safe and clean, when we applauded the teachers who went above and beyond. That's the families I saw. It's strange to me that there was a decent chunk of people sitting in this audience who didn't even look up from their phones during those presentations. And that's all I need to know about them and their ideology. So thank you for protecting our kids from ignorance, for protecting our kids from hate, to protecting our kids from malice, from racism, and from bias. I know that you will stand up against this and continue to the way you have. And I salute you for taking the high road against those who travel the low road. And I will not only stand up for you, but I will do what I did in the last election. I will donate money, I will go door to door, and I will vote. The good news is most of them won't be able to. So good luck, and thank you for what you do.
Next card is Liz Nakano.
I stand before you today as a parent, as a teacher, and as a community member. I believe that my role is to guide and educate all students and children, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, disability, sexual orientation, gender expression, or gender identity. It disturbs and saddens me that we have listened to hateful words used to describe any child within our community, or any teacher, district employee, or community member who strives to support all children and families. I understand that we do not agree on many issues, but what we do need to agree upon is the safety and protection of all children in our community. To the LGBTQ plus community, when you see me, you see a safe place. I walk with you and stand beside you. And there are many more. We are not alone. And I hope that the board would agree with me, will not let misinformation, fear, or hate be louder than compassion, love, and support. Thank you.
The next card is Eve Clem.
Okay. Hi, I am a student. Well, I guess graduated last year, but I was a student of GUSD, and I'm here to talk about kind of like my experience. So as a student, we don't all talk to our parents 100% truthfully, and I think we all know that. We also don't talk to our counselors or teachers 100% truthfully. We also all know that. The only people we've really been truthful is with our other classmates. And honestly, today showed me why. What you don't understand is how many of you, your own kids, you are condemning and disrespecting. You don't understand how many of your kids self-mutilate because they do not feel that they can be themselves. You do not understand how many kids or how many people I have talked to who I've had to persuade out of hurting themselves or worse. You have not heard the stories I have been told about abuse from students and mainly abuse from their parents. But what my point is that this does not have to do with teaching students about respecting each other's pronouns or how they identify or even about being safe in bed. This is about how we respect each other and how we see each other as role models and how we learn respect. If you really, really care about the youth of our community, then all I can ask for you to do is think about how we can all individually become someone your student or your child can be proud of and who they feel safe with forever. Thank you.
Next card is Michael Clem.
Hello, thanks for having us. I've been in Glendale for my 57 years of life. I've been proud of Glendale for its diverse community, especially when the Armenians started coming in and accepting them. And I remember voting for my first Armenian mayor because they had such a presence in Glendale and their contribution to Glendale, and I felt that they should be represented. I think that's the diversity of Glendale is our strongest point. And it's also for America, it's our strongest point. You get diverse viewpoints and lifestyles, and if you're open-minded, you could learn from them. And I think that somebody like Ray Shelton really destroys a lot of that, because when he was my son was in his 5th grade class, we loved him. We loved Ray Shelton because he was a fantastic teacher. My son loved going to 5th grade class. We cried at the words Ray Shelton said about his class when they graduated. And so when we saw that he took the time to make a swastika and presented it, it is so destroyed everything we hoped about the diversity. Like, what was he trying to convey? What kind of symbol when you see a swastika, what was he trying to convey? Do you want to genocide?
We are listening to the speaker.
I mean, he destroys so much that he's breaking apart the diversity of this community. He wants to separate people, and I feel like him and Mr. Jordan are breaking a lot of our diversity and just creating fear and hatred. We never thought that our son's going to be indoctrinated because of Ray Shelton. We thought he's going to get a great education, and he does. He had a great education.
Okay, one moment, please.
And that's
all
what
right.
I wanted to say.
Okay, you're complete. Thank you. So let me remind that it is inevitable that you are going to hear things that you disagree with. It is inevitable that you're going to hear things you disagree with. It is inevitable that you're going to hear things that you disagree with. We all, every single one of us, are listening to every single one of you, and that's what we're doing. Even though some of you are saying this is not true, we are still going to listen, because that is the role of public comment right now. The next speaker is Amy Clem.
Go, Amy.
Dr. Ekjian and esteemed board and staff members, thank you for hearing us tonight. My name is Amy Clem, and I've been a GUSD, can you hear me? Okay. My name is Amy Clem, and I've been a GUSD parent for over 14 years. My son goes to Clark right now, and he's in 10th grade. My daughter, you heard tonight, she just graduated from Clark last year. And what I'm here to talk about tonight is something that I haven't really heard very many people discuss, and that is the elephant in the room. Within GUSD, there has been a rise in the use of slurs, intimidation, hate speech, and hate symbols. 4 weeks ago, a swastika was wielded in this very room by a teacher my son had in 5th grade, and he did this to show his contempt for trans students and people. What I see is people acting on fear of other and that which they don't understand. And someone is stoking that fear. They don't have children in our school district, they're not a teacher, and they don't work in education. But they have no qualms playing on parents' fears to gain a following. GUSD didn't have this kind of anger, division, and spreading of false information until this person entered the picture. The elephant in the room is Jordan Henry. I am here to counter his message of division and fear and hate with love. Love for our students, for our school district, for our community. Our community. This is more than just our students. Our students become our community. And we need to build that community to be as strong and resilient and accepting of diversity as possible, especially in Los Angeles, which is one of the most diverse cities in the world. I want you to know that I appreciate all the teachers, administrators, and staff that come together every day to make our kids' education one of the best that it can be for everyone, not just my kids or Christian kids or Armenian kids or Black kids or Jewish kids, but everyone's kids. Let love lead, not fear. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the next topic we have is curriculum. There are 6 cards, so that will be 3 minutes per speaker.
And the first speaker is Aneta K. And then followed by Gomi Khosrovian and Jen Martinez. Aneta.
Parents and community members of Glendale, now more than ever, we need to fight for what's going on in Glendale schools. Every single one of these board members was endorsed by the teachers union, and they are following a one-track mind, and they have only one goal in common, and that is to indoctrinate our children. Education flew out the window a long time ago. That is why when the low test scores were presented to this board, they didn't blink because they don't care. Their focus is indoctrination. They hate our family values, they hate our faith, and most of all, they hate that they are not inside our homes controlling the narrative. Because they know for every ideology that they teach that we don't agree with, we teach our children the opposite at home, and they hate that. That is why at their schools, at GUSD schools, they push indoctrination full force. It is up to us parents to break our children free from the shackles of their indoctrination. Education needs to be the #1 goal, not their agenda, not the rhetoric, and not the ideologies that they are pushing upon our children. And every single one of them is a sellout politician sitting over there.
The next card is Gomi.
Good evening, everyone. To all of those who stand for their children's rights, kudos to you, and God bless you. As long as you are resilient against the evil, it is good evening for you. But to all of those, all of the cowards who sold their soul for the lie, or it is not even evening but dark night. To the cowards who denied the truth that our children's right has been overturned, shame on you. Woe to you. To identify yourself as any gender is a system of belief and religion of Satan, and not science. And to force this belief to our innocent children is a pure evil. We said this many times, and we say it again. It is not our business what you believe, but we are against this idea, and we are against those who want to inject this ideology to the mind of little kids. Shame on you. This is hypocrisy. You are double standard, who defend the lie but deny the truth. By doing so, you show who your father is, the person who is funding you. You accuse us for hate speech, but you do not see yourself that you hate the truth, and whoever hates the truth is hatred. Because without truth, you cannot love. You use minors as a shield to protect your ideology of divide and conquer. And instead of teaching them to love their bodies, you encourage them to hate it, chop it, and poison it. You are to be blamed and to the damage of these little children. We as humans, we do not care about the issue of gender, but that should be out of school. This is hypocrisy. You remove prayer and God out of the school and replace it with your evil ideas. Shame on you. We do not have a school anymore, but a place of sorcery and damaging the brain of your innocent children. You are not with gays or minors community either. If you were, you would not fire Ray, who is gay. All of you who support them, all of you who support them, the person who is beyond you will eat you and spit you out without mercy. This is communist. This is what I know from communism. They're going to eat you and spit you without mercy. Communism always eats its offspring, and he doesn't care. Finally, repent and believe in Yeshua, mighty God. And to all of Glendalians, Kaylee King must go.
And the next speaker is Jen Martinez. And please do face this way, where when you're making public comment. If you can please go ahead and can you go behind the podium if you wouldn't mind? I know you're coming from the outside. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Jen. I'm the California chapter lead of Gays Against Groomers. I'd like to make something very clear. I really wish I didn't have to be here tonight, and I never wanted to be an activist. But this indoctrination and delusional ideology you're perpetuating and foisting on these kids has made me one. I'm a middle-aged lesbian. I assure you, the LGB does not need to be propagandized to in order to realize our sexuality. It's clear your end goal is not about inclusion or acceptance. It's about capitulation and surrender. Of the truth, and why do grown adults need validation of minors? That should be what you're asking, rather than bending at the knee to narcissist ideologues at the peril and detriment of your already academically failing students. You are deliberately ignoring and gaslighting the very parents that pay your salary. Your so-called inclusionary tactics do not help the LGBT communities. In fact, they have set us back a decade. Our acceptance has gone down significantly as a result of this aggressive, regressive, and quite frankly dangerous rhetoric and lies you're sounding to these kids. So I ask you today, not the board, since they profit from this agenda, but everyone else, please stop. Please stop. You're not helping. You're hurting us and these kids. None of us deserve to be the collateral damage of your blind, misguided wokeness. Your students and their parents deserve better than this. They voted you in, and they will vote you out. I just implore you to stop the insanity and just leave these kids alone.
The next speaker is Meg Martinez, followed by Sten Ridley, and then Sevak Shahnazar. Is Meg here? Meg Martinez.
Hi, I'll make sure to face you guys because I want to know you guys are listening. So, my name is Meg Martinez. I am the co-director of chapters with Gays Against Groomers. All of you, as the Glendale USD elected officials, just like many others around the country I've been to, have made a mockery of our school system. But today I'm only speaking to you and the things that you have done or lack thereof. I can't even get into this because it's so disturbing. Forcing coaches to ignore their discomfort for opposite-sexed minors changing in front of them in locker rooms. Isn't that what we want as a society? Is to adults to not be in inappropriate situations with minors. Covering up on public news shows about the idiocy you've allowed by denying the legitimacy of an angry parent who spoke up at defending her child. What about supporting SB 596? Where's the support for the students being harassed by your staff members during your school hours? Anything? Then there's completely ignoring parents' rights to opt their kids out of certain lessons. And let's not forget about the gay teacher who was fired for standing up against all the LGBTQ ideology. That sure did backfire, didn't it? The laundry list of failures is racking up. How would any of you feel if a teacher went behind your back and started reading Bible verses to your children in the classroom, or forced your kids to pray for a different God than you believe in? Religion is an ideology. Just like the LGBTQ plus narrative being pushed is just that, an ideology. Only you promote it. You celebrate it. You don't give the parents a right to opt out of it. It is forced upon the kids. The woke LGBTQ plus ideology is a religion. Adults are supposed to set examples for kids. What example does it set for multiple adults to harass a child because the adult chooses to deny reality? Those adults are grown-up trophy children who need validation from everyone, including kids, and it shows. It gives the look of a 2-year-old in a grocery store kicking and screaming on the floor because he or she couldn't have a candy bar. Those students are not your children. They are these parents' children. Your job as the board is to listen and correct harmful situations for their children, to uphold their concerns. You have the power to stop this, and yet you sit here and do nothing but perpetuate it. Your lack of care or urgency in this, it just really shows. It shows all the parents what they need to know when election time rolls around again. I mean, even if you guys last that long, so good luck to you.
And the next speaker is Stan Ridley. Stan? And how? Stan.
Hi. I'm Sten. I'm also with Gays Against Groomers. I joined because I'm really concerned with some of the policies that are being pushed in my name. I was a gender nonconforming student. I struggled with gender identity issues. I went through dysphoria. Pretending that males who wish they were women are literally female and vice versa is deeply, deeply harmful to kids like me. It is not helping. I'm so tired of this being pushed as, to say that as hate. That's not hateful. We can be polite to one another. We can respect that we have different struggles and that we live in different ways. But to compel speech, especially for a special needs child, to compel speech is evil. It's wrong. It's anti-democratic. It's awful. And I'm begging you to please stop doing it in my name. I was listening to Ms. Gonzalez speak. It was very clear to me that she is not being hateful. She genuinely cannot tell something that she doesn't believe to be true. She is seeing a female and knowing that that's a she, and for the adults around her to require her to make them feel better is wrong. To require her to lie and say something she does not believe to be true is wrong. It doesn't matter if you think she should believe it. She doesn't. And, you know, equally with the Bible verses, that is wrong to do, and I ask you to please stop forcing kids to say things they do not believe to be true, that they can see with their own eyes is not true. Thank you.
Sevak Shahnazari.
I'm here to address the inconsistencies we heard from Nairi and staff of GUSD. Nairi, you appear on ARTM TV to clarify to Armenian community, which is almost 40% of students in our community, what's going on. And you mentioned 14 minutes in your interview that parents decide what books their child can or cannot read. I want to know how this is enforced and how staff are dealt with when they don't comply. We call the schools. None of the staff knows what we're talking about. Somebody told me, just email the teacher. Somebody else tell me, you have to go through the GUSD. And you didn't clarify for Armenian community what kind of books you're talking about. I think we as a community, all of us, not just Armenian, we need to be addressed, and you have to put some kind of guidance for us in your website how we can approach these things. Generalizing things is not helpful. When the innocent child accidentally misgender others, they can be punished. So, who is there to punish the staff grooming our kids? What is the punishment? Removing them and give them online courses? Last time we checked, Tam is still working for GSD. And we had more than 8,000 signatures from the community members of Glendale to removing or at least investigate the Kelly King. Seems like we're talking to the wall. How many more signatures we need to collect? Do you guys pay attention to us? You want 18,000, 20,000? We'll work towards it. But we need to be here and at least have audacity. Investigate. Listen to us. We are not foreigners. We are not aliens. We are part of this community. I personally moved my business 4 years ago to Glendale to just pay tax to the city that I live. But I think I make a wrong mistake. That was the biggest mistake. I don't know what to say, but we clearly tired of all this double standard and hypocrisy. And what I can say just, especially Armenian speaker board members, Armenian community expecting you to show up to Armenian TV. TV of choice. It's not our TV. It's people's. And listen to us. Answer the questions and stop gaslighting. Nairi, when they ask you about specific things, you switch it to the problem that you have in the schools, which is we all have about the TikTok. That's not what we ask you for. You're gaslighting. You switch the conversation about we have a bigger problem, which is TikTok and misusing TikTok. This is not the questions we ask. Community had sent so many questions, and we expect you to answer that. Honestly, come and answer those questions. So as I don't know tomorrow, I want to contact school of my child and ask them to remove certain books. Who should I talk to? Nobody knows. Hope to see you in the TV. God bless America.
The next cards.
Sure, and just for an update, so we have 2 topics left, one with 6 cards and one with 8 cards. So this one has 8 cards. It is public comment basically around sex education and over-sexualizing kids. There are 8 cards, so that would be 2 minutes per card.
And so those who may have been outside and didn't hear the original instructions, please, the buzzer will sound when your time is up. And please take a look at the lights, green, yellow, and red, and wrap up when it comes to red. And the buzzer will beep at 2 minutes. And again, there are multiple ways to communicate with us. And yes, we will meet and speak. Patrick Gibson, followed by Nune Gibson, and then Mane Petros. Next 3 cards. First is Patrick.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick Gibson, and I have ran for an elected position, and I am running one now. So I'm going to actually help you guys out because we need to have a lot more people here start getting registered, and that means your voice will actually start growing. So get to your people, right? Armenian people, you guys are strong people. I'm married to one, right? So let me just tell you right now, you you guys are not represented well because you're not registered. So register. Please register. I don't need to hear your voice. Shush. All right, register, and that's what you got to do. So the panel before me has a problem with respect and family values. Now, to be clear, my values are not the same as your values and ideas. However, because I believe in this country and its constitutional rights afforded to each and every one of us, you have that right. Sadly, through your actions in stifling parental rights is at best criminal and unconstitutional. When any parent stands up and rightly disagrees with your pedophilia grooming of children, you should expect pushback. You should expect a lot of pushback and others to come to their aid like I'm doing now. You will be replaced by those very parents sitting right here in this room because one of you guys will run and you will win. And I'm saying one, you need to replace all of them. So this is not a wish or a hope, it's a real fact that this will happen. I challenge everyone in this audience right now to run for these very seats before you. Remember, if it's not you, then who else is going to do it? Thank you.
Next is Nune Gibson.
Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to thank all the parents that are here today to protect their children, their rights, and their family values. I am not here to speak to the board, but I'm here to speak to all the parents. First thing I'd like to clarify here, all I see here talking about hate, people are holding hate signs here. Let me clarify that. We're not hating on anybody. We were living just fine until you guys started putting your ideologies against our family values and pushing it onto our kids without our permission and our consent. That is criminal. That is criminal. You have no right to go behind our parents' backs and teach them stuff that they don't need to know. It's our job as parents to raise our children, not yours. I am not here to address you, and I'm here to encourage all these parents that are here to fight for their children. And I encourage you guys to step up and bring more people on board and run for office and replace all these people here. I'm glad many parents are finally realizing what is really going on behind the closed doors. I am not a Glendale parent. I was raised in Glendale and I went to Glendale High School. And yes, I'm here to support my fellow people that are not haters, but they are here to protect their children. Okay? Yes, you are. And we were just living just fine with everyone else except when you started pushing that thing in our faces. So, however, remember also, these people are elected, so-called elected officials, and I encourage everybody to, next time when you're voting, vote them out and vote your own people in here. You pay for their salaries, and they need to be held accountable. And this is how you do it. You encourage more people to come to these meetings and stand up, and also get involved in Sacramento because those are where the bills are being passed, and these people are obeying their puppet masters, not you guys. Thank you.
Mane Petros, and then Nicolette Brockington. Okay,
it's gonna
4
be
minutes.
4
Double
minutes.
time.
Okay, so who is the translator? Want to make sure the translator's here.
I want translator.
All right, we will get you a translator.
Thank you.
Of course.
Not starting yet.
Please move toward it
If I have,
and stand behind it.
I don't like
That is a good place to be, yes.
Yes.
And if you could face us and we can hear you better, and that would be great.
Ես ձեր փոխարեն անհարմար եմ զգում, որտեղ դուք հայեր եք այստեղ նստած, եւ դուք փչացնում եք մեր ազգը, մեր ընտանիքները, մեր երեխաներին անառակ եք սարքում։ Ես կխնդրեմ, I please open a school pornography special for pornograph people, pornograph who want make sex, girl with girl, boy with boy. I am talking about community.
not about Armenian family. I am talking lots of people from Korea came here, lots of kids, 12 years old kids, they know what is sex, but teaching sex. When you open that book, they cannot see sex something, boy and girl. Why do not shame? Your husband, how many months was pregnant? Your man, how many was? Sham, how many months you were pregnant? How many months you were pregnant? Why you teaching our kids go away from life? You swear when you came this country, you told we must be the good people who destroying this country. You destroying this country. You know, your home, if I come and say, your son and girl, teach something, you will be happy? Yes? Why are you teaching our kids amorality? You open special school for your district, but our kids must be clean. You stay far away from Christian, from Bible. You know, you are evil in this country, who destroyed this country. Your policy no good. I have to sign 1,000 and more sign and go on state in front of your Adam Schiff, your governor, something, and talk about everything. You lying this country and you destroying this our family. I don't have any kids, but I have grandkids. All of kids are my kids. All of grandkids are my grandkids. We sitting here, we lying here. You must have normally programs, biology, math, logical thinking. Go far away from
Ms.
our
Petros,
kids.
thank you. And I don't think you need a translator. You're doing okay. Good job.
Because I know, but please, people told me speak in Armenian. I say, no, I have to speak in English.
You are complete.
I don't know say thank you so much because I am not thank you. I never want.
And the next speaker is Nicolette Brockington.
I never vote for you, Shant. You know, shame. Why you sit it?
All right, so the next speaker is Nicolette Brockington. I'm so sorry. The next speaker is Nicolette Brockington, followed by Belissa Cohen, and then Arby Sarderi. What is your name? Belissa. That you are next. Go ahead, Belissa.
Hi there. I'm not a parent, but I am a member of the LGB community, so I feel like I'm here to correct some misconceptions. One of them is the idea that any of this stuff is good for gay people, that it's pro-gay to teach any of this BS. It is not, both because the backlash against all this nonsense is going to hit gay people the hardest. Second of all, it impacts kids who are non-conforming to sex-based stereotypes. They may or may not grow up to be gay. The studies do show that the majority of kids who are, non-conforming to those sex will grow up to be gay, but not all. So those are the kind of kids who are still being bullied for being gay. And now this kind of sexuality, teaching these these sex acts that are supposedly gay or lesbian but I don't, know anybody who does them personally, but they're going to imagine how humiliating it is to sit there and hear, and the bullying is getting worse. It's not getting better. And plus, I don't think it ever will go away. We have to teach kids to be resilient, not to collapse under name calling. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never harm me. So the other thing is that I think everybody needs to stop conflating LGB with the other letters T, Q, I, A. Same-sex attraction has zero to do with wanting a different identity, wanting different secondary sexual characteristics. It's ridiculous. There's absolutely nothing in common. It's apples and oranges, and please stop saying all those letters together. It's insulting to gay people.
Nicolette, Brockington, Nicolette, or Arby?
Hey board, how you guys doing? So it's sad to be here today and talking about all this. It's really, as a society, we are in a problem. Rainbow Squad, let me tell you guys something. You started this. You started this. We never cared about any LGBTQ+++ and your 77 genders. Nobody cared about that. Nobody did. Until you forced it into our lives and you shoved it into our throats. And you put it in our children's life without our consent. That's not okay. When it comes to our children, that's where we finally draw the line. And it's a big red line. So we draw that. Public schools curriculum should not be LGBTQ. It should be math, reading, science, writing, sports. It's not a drag queen circus. Schools, what's wrong with America? It's a problem. They're not even 1%, the Rainbow Squad. And it's an agenda and it's politics. Keep the politics out of the school and the children's life. Please. That has nothing to do with kids, nothing. If they want to teach their children whatever they want, I'm okay with that. We are absolutely okay with that. Don't force anything down my throat. I don't like that. That's not America. And it's game over for these demonic ideologies. We know who it is. We know what's going on. And America is not a democracy. America is a constitutional republic. Stop with this nonsense. Understand what America is about, all right? America was never a democracy.
Margaret V. Greg Ala Kanyan. Hi. On behalf of parents, there are many parents who are, we could call minorities here, like Koreans, Armenians, Spanish, Chinese, many others, who do not know the language well or do not know English well, and they have no chance or no opportunities they haven't given or told to come and to check the curriculums. So those parents cannot even imagine what you're teaching to their kids, cannot even dream of the perversion that is taking place in the schools. We have been warning them for years, but they didn't know. They cannot imagine things that your guys are allowing in the schools. During the health class presentation last year for 7th graders, the representative did not give clear presentation of what the health book is going to cover. No one brought out the Positive Prevention Plus handbook and introduced exactly what they will be teaching. The teachers were contacted. They were constantly directing us to GUSD. Come there and watch and see whatever the book is. The book was horrible. So you lied to the parents during presentation. But no more. You cannot be trusted any longer. Sorry. The disgusting practices and adult themes that are being pushed on our kids, taking their innocence away from very young age, and that is a gross sin. It is a sin. And everyone who is participating in it or helping will be greatly judged and see the fierce punishment. And that's by God, because God created every one of you. Whether you want it, you don't want it, you believe, you don't believe, you are going to be judged. Okay? It is time to repent. I have nothing against you personally. It is time to repent. Every person is given this opportunity to repent and turn away from your wicked ways, the grossly sinful ways that you adopted and do there teaching our kids. Being blind yourselves, you can only lead blind people. But we parents are not blind. And we did not follow you or allow our kids to be hurt. Darkness is covering the earth and gross darkness the people. We will not allow you steal our kids and like Nazi turn them against their families and family values. And that's an indoctrination. Who next are speaker Nazis? is We Greg. are.
Greg, thank you. Greg,
Well, it is a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of a...
Greg Alexanian.
Thank you. Thank you for not addressing the Kelly King video back in 2017 when you still had the chance. Since then, look at all that has been and is being exposed. I mean, I knew it was bad, and that's why we went private several years ago, but damn, you are some cold-hearted ladies up there. You guys are becoming the laughingstock of the California public schools, and that's not an easy feat. Thelma, you are stronger than all of these women put together. You have no courage. You have no ability to stand up to the people that are pushing this agenda. Fine. In the name of love, compassion, acceptance, equality, you violate, you discriminate, and you label people, and you labeled a special needs kid. On top of forcing minors to be exposed to sexually charged lessons. Matthew 18:6, Jesus says this. Come on, let's go. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and be drowned into the depths of the sea. Instead of teaching the love of Christ, you are teaching the love of perversion. Proverbs 11:14 says, a city with wise leaders will end up, without wise leaders will end up in ruin. A city with many wise leaders will be safe, kept safe. Glendale has prospered from wise leaders. You are not it. You are not wise leaders. I'm embarrassed to be called Armenian for the first time in my life because of the document that you guys signed. Bravo, Dizzy.
Nicolette Brockington. What are the next cards, Ms. Freeman?
So then we are on our last set of cards. There are 6 cards, so that will be 3 minutes apiece, that mostly have to do with teacher appreciation.
Sarah Holler, then Lauren Groth, then Jean Ansalober. Sarah?
Hello. Thank you for fulfilling your duty to the public. This is obviously a really messy and difficult situation, so I appreciate that you are following your duty to hear from the public. I am also a member of the public. My name is Sarah. I've lived in GUSD almost my entire life except when I was in college, and I'm very glad to be raising my son here. Glendale is an excellent place to raise a family. I'm going to wait until I can be heard. I can't
Yeah,
hear
let's
myself.
do that. Let's pause, Mr. Sauken. Let's pause when the room is quieter. We will continue. Okay. Let's not do that. So let's continue. Let's continue with Sarah. Sarah, you have the floor.
Hello, I have the floor. My name is Sarah. I live here. I also have a son here. I am here because I wanted my voice to be heard and to let the board know that my family values should also be heard and reflected in the work that you do. I support trans-inclusive policies. Trans people have always existed, and they deserve to be educated in our public schools. They are part of the public. And to parents of trans kids, trans people, trans kids out there, you have my support. You belong in these schools. I'm glad you're there. What else did I want to say? I am grateful to the current members of the board. You have a very difficult job, and I think you're doing it admirably. I think you carry out your duties to ensure all the children have the safe and respectful environment they need to learn, especially as we recover from COVID. They ensure that GUSD complies with state and federal law and that students and teachers are protected from harassment and discrimination whenever possible. I appreciate that. It's clear to me that you all serve on this board because you care about education and our children and our families. I believe that these meetings take a lot out of us, and I a little bit resent that this is how I've spent my Tuesday afternoon, or evening. But I'm committed to being here because I don't want people to feel alone when we have fought for rights. We will continue to maintain our rights. I have 30 more seconds, but I think in this room we're okay, and I don't need to hold those 30 seconds. I am complete. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren?
Hello, members of the board and to the public. I am a mother of 2 little girls, and I've lived in the district for 3 years. I love this community, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I've been watching these public comments recently, and I want to take a moment to recognize those who may feel incredibly alone, unsafe, and marginalized due to what's being said here and on social media. You matter. On a personal note, I admit that I have many fears as a parent. They can become so overwhelming that I can trick myself into believing that I have any say in who they are or will become. I do not wish to control who they are. I want to value who they are. It takes a village, and in this village, I support inclusivity and acceptance. Thank you to the teachers and to the board who help provide that kind of environment for my kids. Thank you.
Jean is next, followed by Elizabeth, DeCarlo, Haley, and Sevan.
Hi. My phone battery's about to die, so I'm really sorry if anything happens. Hi. I'm Jean. I grew up in Glendale. I spent my most formative years in the Glendale Unified School System, and I just want to speak to the school board for a moment to thank you for all of the work that you do every single day to make Glendale Unified a safer, more welcoming, more equitable place for all kids. I had some of the very best teachers of my life at Glendale Unified. They taught me times tables and spelling, and they guided me to be a critical thinker and a kind human being, and they made me feel valued, oh my goodness, and cared for just the way that I was. I was really gutted to see the vitriol in this room today coming from the audience directed towards those teachers and towards LGBT kids in their classes. As a queer kid, I remember being there, and I can't imagine being so dismissed by so many adults all at the same time. Trans kids are real, queer kids are real. Thank you to the school board for continuing to foster an environment that allows teachers that tell us that affirm us to flourish, and for supporting LGBT youth and allowing them to be safe and to be seen. It's really life-changing. And the most important lesson that every child can learn is compassion. So thank you for teaching them that. Have a good night.
Elizabeth is next, unless I made a mistake. Is that Elizabeth? There you go.
Hi, I'm here today because I am deeply concerned about the spread of misinformation and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric in this community. I have worked in education for nearly my entire adult life and have never met a teacher who was concerned for anything but the education and well-being of their students. I was also once a scared, shame-filled, pregnant high school student who was terrified to tell my parents. I turned to my teachers first, and those teachers supported me in having that difficult conversation with my parents. Teachers want their students to have healthy relationships with their families, and villainizing them for political gain is unethical and harmful to students. I am so grateful to my teachers who supported me through the hardest 9 months of my life. When it comes to trans children, the research shows that if a child has one trusted adult they can share with, one trusted adult, it reduces the rate of death by suicide by 40%. I think everyone in this room wants to reduce the rate of death by suicide. Please, I ask you to continue your support of teachers who support our children. Thank you.
Next card is Haley Benavides.
Good evening, board and superintendent. Thank you all so much for taking all the comments that you have tonight. I can't imagine what that has taken out of you tonight, and I know that it has taken a lot of your time that you normally would be doing other business with. So thank you for that. My name is Haley. I am a mother of 3. My eldest is currently enrolled at a Glendale Unified School. I am a parent in this school district. My other 2 children will be attending in the coming years, so I will be a parent here for quite some time. I am here this evening to express my support for those students who had the courage to speak last week. I want them to know, and anyone else listening online, that they are not alone. The speakers that have been monopolizing the previous meetings do not speak for all parents in the Glendale Unified School District. The trans and gender fluid community do have support here from parents that understand the importance of not remaining silent, that understand the importance of those students' representation in this boardroom. It is not right to lay the weight of this fight on the shoulders of our children. They do not fight alone. We are with them. And their rights to be comfortable being their complete selves while at school. Children cannot learn in an environment of hate. They have the right to be who they are. So thank you to the board for upholding these rights. And hopefully next board meeting, we can get back to regular business, like, I don't know, maybe shade in our schools. That's what I would actually like to be here to talk to you guys about. And the heat that happens in our school in the summer, we have no shades in some of our playground, not sufficient shade at least. And that is an issue that I would love to come back on another board meeting to discuss with you. Thank you so much.
And that was Haley? Is that correct? Okay. And Sevan Shahnazari. And that's the last card on teacher appreciation.
I guess, hello everybody. best for the last, I guess. So it's been a tough night for you guys. I wouldn't want to be on your seat. A little bit about me. I'm a product of GUSD. I went to Glendale High School. I've had people texting me, calling me from out of state, Texas, Arizona, what's going on in Glendale. It's embarrassing. I have nothing to talk about. You guys have been spitted on enough. I'm going to address the teachers. All the teachers in Glendale, GUSD. Things are what we say as parents. Some members turn it around, call it hate speech. We don't hate our teachers. We appreciate them. We understand how hard is it to be a teacher. I used to be a student. We had brats, we had annoying kids, we had kids that would cause all kind of trouble, we had kids that wanted to learn, so on and so forth. So we know what they're doing, okay? But it's a handful of bad apples that are doing what's happening. And we want, again, I'm going to speak on behalf of all the parents that spoke tonight, okay? You want to categorize us as Nazi, you want to call us Armenian radicals, you want to call us Christian radicals, you want to call us anti-LGBTQ+. That's not us. We're just parents. I'm a father of 2. I'm here because I care, and I want the teachers to know that I'm on their side. You see something, say something. You don't agree with something, let us know. You're scared of losing your job, we will come there. We will support you. It's simple, okay? Miss Vivian, we said, do boys go to the girls' locker room? Do girls go to the boys' locker room? You said we have individual locker rooms. That was not the question. So, again, to make it clear, we are not anti-LGBTQ. We love our teachers. We understand what they do is hard. Our teachers are asking for school supplies while we're spending thousands of dollars on culture, education. And anytime I open it up, the first thing I see is identity and different things that is not part of education. We want clarity. We want our teachers to know. We love you guys. I went to my son's open house. Thank you to all the teachers. Thank you for the plants. Thank you for the hand paintings. Thank you for everything you guys do. We are not anti-teachers. We are parents. We care for our kids. We want to make sure they are safe. Again, teachers, we love you guys. You know who you are. I went to Glendale High School. Thank you, Miss Smith. Thank you. A lot of other teachers, okay? We love our teachers. I'm making it clear on behalf of all the parents. Okay, I got it. Stop pressing it. Thank you.
Okay, we were going to end on that positive note. We do have one more card where the person I called earlier is here. So, Gary Digranyan, if you can set the timer for 2 minutes. Okay. All right.
Good evening, you guys. I appreciate you guys. I know it's been a lot of back and forth. As a concerned parent, I had to take my daughter out of school. I believe Miss Vivian Ikchian. I wrote an email to Vivian and a few other people back in 2021. We were concerned about the curriculum that was going to be taught. I don't know if you remember the long email that was sent to you and the principal at my daughter's school. But your email reply back was, this is quote, "Thank you for your email. GUSD is not implementing a LGBTQ curriculum. The new history, social science," and just goes on and on. We had to take our daughter out of school. She was one of those kids that when she started going to school, she would throw up every morning because she was nervous and no friends. And it was really tough for her for the past maybe month and a half. That's what she was going through. We took her out, had to go to a private school, and she went through the same stuff. And I hated seeing her go through that. So it was tough for us, especially now with financial everything that's happening in the economy. It's, we didn't want to do that, but we were kind of forced. And hearing a lot of parents outside, they're kind of in the same boat now. Their talks are, maybe we should take the kids out of school and take them to a private school. If it's in your guys' heart and, if we could figure something out, maybe if you are trying to teach some kind of curriculum, maybe it should be done after class or after school in a different setting where whoever doesn't want to participate doesn't have to participate in that. So that's it for now. I appreciate your guys' time, and God bless you guys. I hope you guys make the right decisions.
Okay, that concludes the public comment section. Want to see if there are any comments, Dr. Ekchen, that you wanted to make at this time, and then we will be going to recess after that.
The only comment I would like to make, particularly to parents who are in the room in our school district who would like to discuss a concern with me, please make sure, just call. We will schedule an appointment as soon as possible. To the parent who spoke earlier, that I learned about the video at the city council meeting, and the next morning I contacted the parent to schedule an appointment. The indication by the parent was that there were work commitments, that she was unable to come that week. We were scheduled for yesterday. You are more than welcome to bring whoever.
Do you have proof of that?
So this is the challenge when.
May I interrupt, Ms. Nalpetian? My offer to meet with you stands. I emailed you again. I'm more than willing to meet with you at a time that's convenient for you. I don't know what you mean by witnesses. Please let me know who you would like to bring with you, because if you want to bring Thelma, that I would be most interested in meeting with you, let us know who you would like to bring, and then we will go from there. You know where to find me.
So may I just
I'm more than
interject
happy
at
to
this
meet
point?
with you, and once we break from public comment, certainly please make an appointment with Ms. Ishisaka, who made the original 2 appointments with you, and we will go from there. I'm very willing and want to hear from you. Whether on camera or not, my commitment stands to meeting with you.
And, as an organization that serves the needs of children, there is nothing more important than providing a safe space for them. Our intention is to have a public school system that continues to do well, have scores that are high. A few weeks ago, we did have a Board of Education meeting where our scores compared to LA County and compared to the state of California were demonstrated, and we are a school district that is thriving in terms of our academics when we look at the comparisons with LA County and with the state of California. It's critically important to have parents involved and to have parents be partners in their kids' education. We appreciate it when parents and other caregivers are inquisitive. We appreciate it when they're engaged with what is going on in their school community, because kids do better when their parents are involved with them and with their education. So we continue to be available to meet, to discuss, and to very specifically communicate with you. That is how we can get through these difficult times so that we can problem solve together. We need to do that for the best interests of our students. And, many school districts and many state legislatures are dealing with difficult topics. We are not alone in these things. We care about our students. We want them to do well. We want them to succeed. And that can happen when all of us are involved together at the same time, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. And so reach out to your teachers and administrators at your school when you see something around the curriculum with your student. And you are also welcomed to reach out to the administrators here at the district office. We can only figure this out walking together for the best interests of our students. With that, we're going to go to recess, and then we will return after recess.